What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Universal Sports, coming live from an undisclosed location in the Southern California. Hey, you know how we do it. Hey, everybody, I'm just wondering, how is everybody doing with this quarantine? We all stuck in the house. Some of us are off at work. A lot of us are missing the NBA, Major League Baseball right now. But I was watching WrestleMania, but I must say, this WrestleMania was missing something, like an audience. And I personally think Vince McMahon should have pushed back WrestleMania 36, but WrestleMania got so bad. I said, let me turn on some old fights. So I turned on the old Pernell Whitaker versus Oscar De La Hoya fight. Now, I remember this fight back in the day. I didn't particularly watch this fight when it happened back in April 12th, 1997, but I remember coming to school on Monday. I always follow boxing, even though I couldn't watch the fights, but I remember coming to school on Monday, and one of my friends at the time in middle school was like, Sweet Pea got cheated. Sweet Pea got cheated. Sweet Pea got cheated. And I just went on with that narrative for a long time. I didn't watch the fight, but I recently watched the fight a couple of days ago, and I scored the fight 114 to 113 for Oscar De La Hoya. I recently watched the fight again, and I scored it the same way. I switched to a couple of rounds, but in the end, I scored the fight for Oscar De La Hoya by one round. And looking at the official scorecards for the judges, one judge scored it 115 to 111, and both of the other judges scored it 116 to 110. I can see why my friend will say that now, because I watched the fight twice now, and that was too wide of a score margin for a fight. I mean, I don't think Oscar won that by that much of a margin. I think it was a very close fight. But anyway, here's what I thought. I did give the first 3 rounds to Oscar De La Hoya, but I noticed this about Oscar later on when I started, as I was getting older and I watched boxing. Me and particularly my oldest brother, noticed that Oscar tends to fade in fights. Like after the 5th or 6th rounds, he starts slowing down. And I think the first 3 rounds, Oscar was boxing beautifully. He was on the balls of his feet. He was landing that jab, keeping the distance. When Whitaker got close, he would land an uppercut, or he would dominate him inside. But as you watch the fight, Whitaker upper body movement defensively was giving Oscar a lot of trouble. Pernell Whitaker, the late great Pernell Whitaker, was very awkward. He was a defensive wizard. At the time of the fight, Oscar was 24 years old and Pernell Whitaker was 33. So we can see that this maybe was the beginning of the end for Whitaker. But I thought Whitaker fought a good fight, but he in the end, I just think that he gave away the last 3 rounds, because going into the 10th round, I had the fight 94-94. I had it a tie fight, but let's go on. I mean, I'm going to break down this fight. And the 3rd round, in particular, Whitaker's defensive upper body movement made Oscar miss a lot. and Whitaker started landing the jab, and when Whitaker would get up close in the 4th round, he would land an uppercut to Oscar, and he would land a couple of shots. But I think what was bothering Pernell in the beginning of the fight was, obviously, if you look at the tail of the tape, Oscar is 5'10.5", Pernell Whitaker is 5'6". Oscar has a 73-inch reach, and Pernell Whitaker only has 69-inch reach. So obviously Pernell Whitaker had to become the inside fighter in this fight. But towards the end of the 10th round, Oscar must have caught a second wind and started bouncing on the balls of his feet and start landing the jabs. But let's go back to the 4th, 5th, and 6th. I don't know why Oscar did this, but Oscar he switched from orthodox to southpaw. Now, Oscar is a converted southpaw, so fighting southpaw is natural for Oscar, but professionally, Oscar is an orthodox fighter. So I don't know why he did that. Maybe Oscar was tired, but it was a very entertaining fight. I scored this 114 to 113 for Oscar De La Hoya. I don't think it was a robbery. I just think Sweet Pea was just gave away the fight on my card at least too much in the 10th round, 11th and 12th. But tell me how, if you guys remember this fight, tell me how you scored the old Pernell Whitaker versus Oscar De La Hoya fight. Because just tell me how you scored it if you remember this fight. Anyway, I mean, I'm so desperate for sports. I was watching old fights and I just stumbled upon this one. So it's your boy, Mr. Universal Sports. Comment, rate, subscribe. I'm signing out. You have a good night.